You know that feeling, right? That flash of frustration with AI. You ask it what seems like a simple question, and the answer you get back is just completely wrong. Well, it turns out it's not just a random glitch. It's actually a fundamental flaw in how these systems work, and today we're going to break down exactly why it happens.
It's a really common experience. You ask for a fact, or maybe a summary of something, and the chatbot just confidently serves up something totally made up. This isn't just a simple error, it actually points to a much deeper underlying issue with the way these models are designed.
So there's actually an official term for this: large language model hallucination. It's when an AI just presents completely fabricated information as if it's a solid fact. And because the answers often sound so plausible, this has become AI's most dangerous weakness.
Okay, so first things first, we need to really understand the flaw itself. What exactly are these AI hallucinations, and what's causing them to happen in the first place?
It turns out not all hallucinations are the same. Researchers have kind of broken them down into two main types. On one hand, you've got intrinsic hallucinations. That's where the AI basically contradicts the information it was given. But then you have extrinsic hallucinations, and this is where it gets wild. This is where the AI literally invents information out of thin air, sometimes even citing sources that don't exist at all.
So what's actually happening under the hood here? Well, these models are trained on the internet, which, let's be honest, is a pretty messy library full of outdated and unreliable info. Sometimes the problem is us. Our prompts are just too vague. But a lot of the time, the AI is just doing what it's designed to do: find patterns. And if it can't find a real one, instead of just saying, "I don't know," it will literally invent a plausible-sounding one to fill the gap. And listen, this is not just some quirky tech glitch we're talking about. The stakes can be incredibly high. As Mark Hatz points out here, in fields like finance or law or even medicine, a wrong answer isn't just an inconvenience. It could lead to absolutely disastrous consequences and, of course, some really serious questions about who's responsible when things go wrong. Okay, so we've seen the problem, but what's the cure? Well, it turns out the most powerful antidote we have is actually something pretty fundamental: high-quality data. And really, the analogy is perfect. You would never, ever build a skyscraper on a weak, swampy foundation, right? Well, it's the exact same idea here. You just can't build a reliable, trustworthy AI on a foundation of messy, inaccurate, or incomplete data. The data is everything.
So what do we even mean when we say high-quality data? It really boils down to four key things. The data has to be accurate, it needs to be complete, it needs to be consistent across all of your sources, and of course, it has to be directly relevant to whatever you're asking the AI to do.
And this isn't just some theory, The evidence is absolutely staggering. Look at this. When a model like GPT 3.5 was fed high-quality curated data, its hallucination rate was just 3.2%. But with low-quality data, that rate exploded to over 19%. That's a dramatic drop of over 80%, and we're seeing similar results across a bunch of different models. The proof is right there in the numbers.
And the benefits just ripple outward from there. Investing in high-quality data isn't just about cutting down on errors. It's also about building trust with your users. It's about boosting the AI's performance in specialized fields. And it's even about making sure companies can meet those really strict regulatory standards. Okay, so if the solution is that simple, use good data, get good AI, why doesn't everyone just do it? Well, this is where the ideal solution smacks right into the pressures of the real world. This chart is so telling. When IT leaders in the finance industry were asked about their top priorities for AI, look what they said: security, regulation, and return on investment. Yeah, data accuracy is on the list, but it is clearly not their #1 concern.
And this gap in priorities has very real consequences. A full 27% of financial services organizations admit they don't even review their data for quality and accuracy. That's more than 1 in 4 businesses in a super high-stakes industry just rolling the dice on their AI's foundation.
So why on earth are they taking this risk? The reality is, the big push for AI often isn't coming from the tech teams. No, it's coming from business leaders, from customers, from competitors who are all demanding new features, and they want them now. And that leaves IT departments scrambling just to build the infrastructure to keep up with it all. So this pressure creates that classic move fast and break things culture. Instead of carefully testing models in a safe, controlled environment, what we call a sandbox, a lot of organizations are pretty much forced to implement AI and test it out in the wild, just hoping to fix the problems as they pop up.
So this really is the core challenge, isn't it? How do we bridge this gap between the ideal of having perfect data and the real-world pressure to get AI deployed as fast as possible? Well, the research points to a pretty clear path forward.
The way forward really requires a four-pronged strategy. First, it all starts with data governance, so establishing strong, enforceable rules to validate your data. Second, it means using a secure sandbox for rigorous testing before anything goes live. Third, it involves fine-tuning your models on specialized, high-quality data that's relevant to your specific field. And finally, it requires keeping a human in the loop to review and correct the AI's most critical outputs.
Now that first point, data governance, is absolutely critical. It's not just the buzzword, it means putting practical safeguards in place. Things like automatic checks on data quality, or forcing the AI to cite its sources, or even just displaying a confidence score so users know how certain the AI is about its answer.
And that third step, fine-tuning, is a total game changer. I mean, think about it. A generic AI has basically read the entire internet, including a whole lot of nonsense. But an AI that has been specifically retrained on a library of verified medical journals, well, it's going to be vastly more reliable for answering medical questions. Context is everything.
Ultimately, this isn't just a technical problem. AI is making more and more decisions that affect our health, our finances, and our entire society. And that really leaves us with a fundamental question. Are we building this future on a foundation of solid rock or one of shifting sand? The choice we make now is going to define how much we can ultimately trust the technology that is already shaping our world.